Hi guys, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Anna, and here we talk about all things motherhood. Today I'm coming at you with a video all about what it's like being a young mother. I got married when I was 19, and I could do an entire video just on getting married young. But I got married at 19, and 3 months later I was pregnant with Heidi. So that means I was pregnant at age 19 and 20, and then gave birth to Heidi when I was 20 years old. And then 2 years later I had Georgia. So I am just under 24 years old right now, and I have 2 kids, 3 years old and 1 year old. And I have to say, most of the time I don't notice like being a young mom. Like it doesn't occur to me that I'm a young mom. But every now and then something will hit me and I'll realize I'm stinking young to be a mom. For example, if you know anything about wills, when you set up a will, you kind of set up this trust fund so that when you die, all of your assets and all of your money go in this trust, and then someone takes care of that and someone takes care of your kids, and you decide at what age your kids get that trust fund money. And I can't even say this without laughing because it's hysterical. Most people set up their trust fund so that their kids won't start getting any of that money until around 25. I'm 23. So setting up a trust fund that way for me would be saying my kids don't get this money until they're 2 years older than I currently am. I've got 2 kids and I'm 2 years under the age that people start getting their trust funds. It's just one of those bizarre things where it strikes me like I'm really young. So I thought I'd make a video about it, about what it's like being a young mom, because it is kind of a different experience. And sometimes there's a lot of like societal negativity about being a young mom. Like you haven't lived your life yet, you haven't gotten to travel, you haven't gotten the honeymoon stage. I think it's becoming more and more common, and I believe there's been like studies on it that show like women are having children at older ages, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You have children when you want to. But there has been a move towards having children at older ages. So being a young mom isn't nearly as common as it was when our parents and grandparents were having children. So it's definitely different now. So I'm gonna focus first on the pros of being a young mom because there definitely are some. I love being a young mom, so obviously there's good stuff about it. The first thing I love about being a young mom is that I have a lot of energy. And I know you can have energy at whatever age you are. When you're younger, your body's younger, it hasn't taken as much wear and tear, your emotions and your mind haven't taken as much wear and tear, so I really enjoy that part about being a young mom. I feel like I'm able to keep up on things for now, and I'm able to keep up with the kids all day without being completely exhausted at the end of every single day. But I also know women older than me who are moms who do that too, so it's not like you can only have energy as a young mom. I know women whose children are my age and they have more energy than I do, so that's definitely not exclusive to being a young mom, but I know that's one of the things that people always think of. If you're a young mom, you've got the energy to take care of the kids, and that's true, I do, and I really enjoy that. Another thing that's great about being a young mom, and this does sound kind of weird to say, is that being young when you start having kids means you're young when you're done having kids. So it's kind of a trade-off. You start young, so you kind of miss that young newlywed stage, but your kids then are out of the house when you're younger, so you kind of make up for that time afterwards. Does that make sense? So for example, Georgia is a year old now, so by the time she's 18, I'm only gonna be 40. Like, that's not that old. So you kind of get a trade-off there. You get that time afterwards. You're younger when your kids are out of the house. Another great thing about being a young mom is that there's a bunch of moms that are older than you to give you advice. It's great. I am the youngest mom in any of my friend groups right now. So all of these moms are older than me and they have more life experience and have more experience with children, and it's great. They can give me so much advice and help. I can look up to them. It is amazing. So being a young mom means that you have an opportunity to learn from the older moms ahead of you. It's incredible how much more wise they are just because they've had more years on this planet, even if it's just like 3 or 4 or 5 years. Every year you learn so much more. So having that experience of older moms to look up to is really encouraging and helps me out a lot as a mom. I could go on and on about good things about being a young mom, but honestly, all the good things about being a young mom are the same no matter what age of a mom you are. You're a mom. It's great. So there aren't a lot of like specifically young mom things that are great, but there are specifically young mom things that can be rough. The first thing is that you're not always financially prepared. My husband and I were financially in a safe place to have children, but not every young couple is, especially if you're getting married out of college. You might have college debt, maybe you don't have a steady job under your feet, and so being a young mom in those situations can be really hard. You'll have to choose between working and daycare, and sometimes that just doesn't even out financially. So there are a lot of financial burdens that can come with being a young mom if you're not financially secure yet. It can also be hard if you're still in school. I was still in school when I had Heidi, and it was really difficult. I had a lot on my plate then. I was in school and I was being a mom, and I know women that are in school and a mom and working. That is incredible, and it's totally doable. But don't underestimate how hard that is. It is really hard to be in school with a kid. So that's definitely something that was difficult for me as a young mom. This next thing I did touch on a little bit in the pros is that you kind of miss out on that honeymoon stage. I know a lot of couples my age who aren't having children and they have an opportunity to travel. Like one of my cousins just went to Italy with her husband and it was so cool. I love seeing their pictures. And they're doing that and they're young and they're able to, and they don't have children that they would have to try and take with them or find care for. So there's definitely a lot more freedom in that honeymoon stage when you don't have children. And I know a lot of times that's like almost mourned for us. Like society seems to think we need those first 5 years together as a couple before having children to fully understand each other and to have those traveling experiences and fun times and partying out with friends. But I don't mourn it. I mean, sure, it would have been nice to have more time, just Aaron and I, before we started having children, but children are pretty great too, and I can still connect with my husband after having children. And I also know, like I said, I'll get that one-on-one time with him later in life. I have that to look forward to. So it's not really a loss in my opinion, but for some people that can be kind of a bummer, is missing out on that time together, just the two of you when you first get married. The last thing that's kind of rough about being a young mom is the judgment. I'm just gonna say I haven't gotten any like outright face-to-face judgment from people for being a young mom. It's probably just imagined. It's probably me imagining people judging me. In high school, I was that like traditional girl, and I still am. I'm very traditional in my beliefs and the way I live. I have a traditional housewife, stay-at-home mom role, and that was very well known in high school. And then I got married a year out of high school, and I was pregnant a couple months later, and it just felt like the people I knew in high school, in my mind, I thought they would judge me. It's like I thought they would judge me for living out my traditionalism or something, but there is some truth behind that feeling I had that there would be judgment. Because I have seen posts and I have seen people share things about like women needing to find themselves before they get married and have children, women needing to get a career under their belt, or women needing to get more education or do all these things before having children. There's almost like this idea that I need to try and put feminism before my desire for a family. It's kind of hard to explain for me, but I have seen posts that pressure and push the idea that as women, our main goal should be to promote ourselves as women and to promote other women. It's like we need to push forward this idea that women need higher and higher and higher education and big careers before they start having a family. Like we have to be strong on our own before we can get married and have kids. So just because I've seen posts and blogs like that on social media, I do feel like there is some stigma to being a young mom. The idea is almost that if you have kids young, you are cutting yourself short before you're able to meet your full potential. I know that not everyone thinks that, and I know that's not like a super wide held belief, but it's out there enough that as a young mom, you will feel that pressure. You will feel parts of society telling you that you didn't do enough first, that you are settling by having children young, that you're not giving enough to society by having children young. I just want to talk to all you young moms out there, or any moms out there who have ever felt that way, that you're not contributing enough to society, that you're not working enough on yourself before you have kids, that you are fine, honey. You are fine. Work on yourself, absolutely. Try to better yourself, try to better your community, absolutely. But having children is not like a lower calling. Having children is a high calling. It's very high. You're raising up the next generation. You're creating good people to put out there in this world, and that's really, really important. I mean, talk about contributing to society. That is it. You're creating a society. So if you're a young mom or any mom at all and you've heard that like I have, don't be discouraged by it. Just ignore it, because honestly, you're doing a great job. You're raising up the next generation, and that is a big job. That is a career. So those were kind of the pros and cons that I came up with, and I was like writing out this list of good things and bad things about being a young mom, and I just kind of realized something, and I want to share it with you. Being a young mom is not that much different from being a mom at the next age, or the next age, or the next age. Moms at any age are still moms. I think it's not so much about your age as it is your maturity. Being a young mom is harder if you haven't matured very much. Being an older mom is harder if you haven't matured very much. I think it's way more about maturity than it is about age, but a lot of times in our society we tend to place maturity on the same level as age. So if you are this many years old, that's the level your maturity is at no matter what. So being a young mom, an old mom, an in-between mom, whatever, I don't think it matters. It's all about where your maturity and your heart is at. We are all doing the same things. We're all having children. We're all taking care of them. We're all changing the same diapers, making the same meals, cutting the sandwiches in triangles, picking up Legos 6 times a day. We're all doing it all. It doesn't matter what age you are. You're being a mom, and that's great. That's good. But yes, we all have different experiences, and I think it's exciting to talk about and learn about those different experiences, but don't ever feel like because you're a young mom, you're more or you're less, or because you're a mom at an older age that you're more or you're less. We're all moms, and we're all working at this together. We're all striving for the same thing, to raise good people, and that's a big job. And we need the support of other moms, young or old. So if you're a young mom, don't feel like you have to get in with other young moms. And if you're an older mom, don't feel like you have to get in with other older moms. We're all moms, we're all mothers, and we're all working at the same thing. We're all going for the same goal and the same prize. So we can all build each other up and be there for each other. It doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't. Being a young mom, yeah, there's different things about it. It's a unique experience, but that doesn't matter. I'm still a mom. That's me, mom. That's my title. It'll be my title at 23. It'll be my title at 99. I'm always gonna be a mother. It doesn't matter how old I am. And then the last thing I want to say about being a young mom is to never take it for granted. You never know how many women out there want to be a young mom or have tried to be a young mom. And then I've tried it the next year and the next year and the next year, and they keep trying. You don't know how many women want to be a young mom or were a young mom and lost their child. You don't know what other women have gone through. Just never take it for granted. There are other women out there who would love to be in your shoes and love to have that young mom experience you're having. So just try and be sensitive. And I'm talking to myself when I say this. It can be hard to be sensitive. You're caught up in your own children, in your own life, and you're just doing your own thing and talking off the top of your head. And it can be hard to be thinking about other women in the room and other people and the struggles they may go through or have gone through. I just kind of work on not taking any moment for granted as a young mom. That is an important part of being a young mom and being any mom. Don't take it for granted. I mean, be you, be awesome, be amazing, be proud of yourself as a mother, be proud of your children, but be aware too. Be aware that there are other women who would love to have what you have. So yes, be you, be a young mom and crush it, do your best, get after it, you can do it. Yeah, there are things working for you and there are things working against you, but you've got this. Being a young mom is amazing. I love it and I wouldn't trade it. I may have had other plans. I may still have plans for the future that'll totally get kiboshed, but I love being a mom where I'm at now and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Just my thoughts on being a young mom and kind of what that means to me and things I notice about being a young mom. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know the drill. Please give me that thumbs up and then leave a comment down below if you're a young mom or your experience when you were a young mom. What were the good things or the bad things you dealt with? Did you feel any pressures from society? Let me know in the comments down below. And then if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, feel free to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you can be notified every single time I post, which is every Friday and occasionally Wednesdays if I'm feeling like it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Bye!